everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing really well. Long time no see. It has been quite a few weeks since I've picked the camera up and filmed anything, to be honest. The past few weeks have been up and down, to say the least. Nothing major. There's obviously just a lot going on for us at the moment, and some days are just a little bit more overwhelming than others. But yeah, even though there's not like loads going on in the house, like we don't have builders here or like much really happening, there's a lot going on like behind the scenes and just a lot mentally. There's like a lot of stress. I've got a lot of anxiety at the moment about like lots of different things, and we've obviously got the wedding next year as well. We're getting married in August next year, and that's coming around very quickly. There's quite a lot of like stress and pressure, I feel, at the moment. Obviously we're still living at Louie's mum's, but we really do need to be out like as soon as possible. We need to be out before Christmas. Well, I say we need to, we don't need to, we're not getting like kicked out or anything, but Louie's sister lives abroad and she's coming home for Christmas with her husband and our little nephew, and they stay at Louie's mum's. So at the moment we're in their bedroom and we're taking up all the space, so we really just need to be sort of out of the way and moved back in before Christmas. So the house situation at the moment is pretty much the same as it was in my previous video, if you've seen that. If not, I will give you an update of like downstairs and just quickly show you how things are looking, but nothing major has happened. In my previous video, I think I did touch on the fact that we were just going to get a joiner in to do some of the door frames. So we originally had 5 door frames that needed doing before the plasterboard could go on, and this has been one of the main, not issues, but something that sort of cropped up a lot, is the amount of things that have to happen before the plasterboard can go on. For example, like obviously you just have to make sure that all of your plumbing, all of your electrics, your insulation, everything is 100% done before you can put the plasterboard on, because once that's on and once it's plastered, there's no going back. So yeah, I did mention in my previous video that we were going to get a joiner in to do the door frames. Louis ended up doing 2 of the door frames himself. He's not a joiner, he's an electrician, he's never done a door frame. But we did have one door frame that needed doing, where a hole had been knocked out for what will be our utility door, and it was like a breeze block wall that had been knocked through, so it was very uneven. I'll show you what I mean when I show you downstairs, but that was like the main one that Louis just didn't even want to tackle, because obviously door frames need to be right. We wanted it doing properly. So we've also spent the last, like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks desperately just trying to find a joiner that would come and do it, basically. So this was the first like proper struggle we've had with just trying to get a joiner. People were saying that they would come and have a look, and then they just didn't turn up. They weren't replying to our messages. Quite a lot of them had a really long like wait time. So I think one of them was like 4 months to wait for 3 door frames, and we really just needed them doing like as soon as possible. Whoever could do them the soonest, that's who we were going for. So luckily Louis did end up finding somebody a couple of weeks ago that said he could do it on Monday just gone. So the door frames, the last 3 door frames were done on Monday. It's now Wednesday, and even he said that the one for the utility was an absolute nightmare. It was the worst door frame he's ever had to do. Yeah, all of the door frames are now done, they're in, and we are literally all done. We're ready for the plasterboard to go on. So we've got our plasterer booked in tomorrow. He's starting tomorrow. It feels like so long that we've been waiting for like this to happen, because I feel like visually this is probably going to be the biggest transformation. Like, I think downstairs is actually going to look like a proper house again. So yeah, he's starting tomorrow, and I think he said that it'll probably take about a week, but he's just going to work like right through the weekend and everything to get it done for us. So yeah, this time next week the house will look very different, and I think I'm just going to run this video for the whole week. So hopefully at the end of this video you'll be seeing a fully plastered extension. So we're not plastering the whole house, unfortunately. That's just something that we can't afford to do at the moment. We are just prioritising the extension. So I'll go through it when I take you downstairs, but basically everywhere that has like a new wall is getting plasterboarded and plastered. All of the existing walls, so like the living room, the hallway, the landing, all of upstairs is just being left as it is for now, and then we'll probably just sort of do room by room. So the plasterboard going on is like the most important job, and that then frees us up to sort of make quite a bit of progress. Once the plaster is like dry and stuff, we can then go ahead with the second fix. So that'll be our boiler going in, all of our radiators going on the walls, the light switches. We should hopefully have lights. We are going to have to buy the spotlights and everything to go in, but yeah, we can sort of move forward with a lot of other things. So then once the boiler is obviously fitted, we'll have hot water, which means that even from that point, to be honest, we can probably start living here, even if we do want to go elsewhere to like have our tea or have a bath or anything like that. But once we've got hot water, we can like clean up everywhere. I'm just going to go around everywhere with a bucket of soapy water and just clean everything. The other thing that we're going to do as well, which again I wasn't sure whether this was going to be a possibility before Christmas or not, but now that things are like happening this week and we've still got, what is it now, it's the 26th of October, so we're at the end of October, so we've still got quite a bit of time before like Christmas sort of takes over to get things done and to get moved back in. So I just sort of resigned myself to the fact that we weren't going to have any flooring or anything. We were obviously just going to like clean up downstairs as much as we could, and I mean, I'm more than happy to live here with or without flooring. It's not the end of the world, but we do have all of our flooring downstairs. So I ordered that like months and months ago because it was in the like clearance sale, so I just ordered it. And Louis is planning on laying the flooring. So the main reason that I wasn't sure was because we need our builder to come back and level all of the floor in like the back extension room. I wasn't sure whether we were sort of pushing it with time to get him back in, level the floor, wait for it to dry and get all of the floor laid before Christmas, but hopefully it's looking like we actually might be able to get that done. We've spoken to our builder and he said he'll definitely be able to fit us in before Christmas. At the moment it's looking as though by the time we actually do move back in, we're going to have plastered walls, radiators, boiler, flooring. Like, it's actually going to be more of a put together house than I thought it was going to be when we moved back in, to be honest. The other thing as well that is hopefully happening in the next few weeks, once the wall in the bathroom is like cleaned up, the plaster is gonna sort out around the window and everything. I'll show you what I mean. But once that's done, we are then gonna get the bathroom tiled. So luckily we've got somebody that can tile and he's going to do it for us. He also happened to have some tiles that he'd bought for his bathroom at home that he's not using anymore. So we've actually got some free tiles and a free tiler, and I'll show you the tiles as well because they're actually really nice tiles, probably exactly what I would have chosen. My plan originally was to just go to a tile shop and see what they had in like the clearance sale, see what I could get for the cheapest basically, because we only need to tile the bathroom temporarily. Eventually, maybe in like a few years time, we are extending the bathroom, so we'll be knocking one of the walls down, ripping everything out and putting in a full new bathroom. But until we can do that, we need a temporary fix. So yeah, the tiles that are going on the walls didn't need to be anything fancy, anything special. They literally just needed to do the job, but luckily he had some sat there, so he's very kindly given us those tiles and said that he will tile it for us. So hopefully before Christmas we're going to have tiles on the wall as well, so we're going to have hopefully quite a nice house, like even not even just livable, like possibly even nice. So yeah, basically that's just like a roundup of what's been going on over the past few weeks, and hopefully what the next few weeks are looking like. So as you can probably tell, I am at the house today because I'm waiting, well, I was waiting on deliveries for all of our plasterboard basically. So all the materials for the plaster are getting delivered today, ready for him to start tomorrow. So I was waiting for 2 separate deliveries. The second one's just arrived, so everything is here. It's all on the front on like big pallets and everything, so Louis and my dad are gonna carry all of that in the house later on when they finish work. I'll show you the bathroom and just any like update that I've got. It's gone very dark, but this is the situation in the bathroom. Again, it'll look very similar probably to the last time I showed you, because I don't think anything has happened in here. So this is how this wall is looking. So obviously this is where the old bath was, but the taps on the old bath were on this wall, so our plumber has swapped them over because our shower is up here. But obviously all of the tiles and everything had to come off the wall when that bath was like taken out. This window is obviously a window that the builders put in for us, so they just had to knock a hole out of this wall, so that's why all around that window looks such a mess. So this is the wall that the plasterer is gonna sort out for us. The other walls are just staying the same. Obviously this is the one that's still got the window. I'm just at some point gonna get, I think, just a roller blind for this window and just have that down all the time, just because this window obviously leads, oh my god, look at my hands. This window leads just into the extension, so it doesn't give any like light or anything. This is the wall that will obviously be knocked down in the future, and this bathroom will be extended. The floor and everything is absolutely disgusting, so this just needs a massive clean. But yeah, once this wall has been sorted out by the plasterer, we're basically just gonna tile right along this wall and just so much of this wall, basically just the width of the bath, so that we can obviously have a shower here. That's the only bit that needs tiling, and then I think the rest of the room I'm just gonna paint. There's no point in us obviously like wasting tiles or spending more money putting more tiles on than we actually need. So yeah, that is the plan for in here. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see these. So these are the tiles that we're going to be using. So these are the ones that it's actually Louis's mum's boyfriend. He basically had these tiles for his own bathroom, but he's not using them now. I don't know how well you can sort of see that if I put it towards the light. They're basically just a very like pale sort of neutral, almost like light grey tile, and he's got loads of them basically. So I think there's about 10 packs here, which we definitely won't need, but who knows, he might have enough to do the floor, and he might do the floor for us. But I don't want to waste tiles unnecessarily, because yeah, this is the wall that will eventually be knocked down and the bathroom will be extended to there. But he also had a shower in his garage that he had put in Louis's mum's ensuite, but she's recently had that ensuite completely like redone. So this shower is only a few years old, and it's obviously a lot nicer than the current electric shower that we've got, because obviously this is just what was here when we moved in. So he's also gonna swap our shower out for that one as well. So the bathroom will be getting a little bit of a mini makeover, and yeah, I'm just so happy with how these tiles look. So tiny little update as well, Louis replaced some of these floorboards. So these were all of the floorboards that have been pulled up for like months now, but all of the original floorboards were like just a bit broken and chipped and stuff, and there's quite a few creaky floorboards which I really want sorting out, because I do not want like an old creaky house. This carpet is an absolute mess, but I'm trying to leave this carpet down for as long as possible, because when we move back in, I am just going to pull this carpet up, because the stairs underneath are, see if you can see them. Oh, you can't really see, but the stairs underneath are obviously like, they look better than this carpet. So yeah, I'm just going to let that collect loads of dust and stuff, and then when the time comes, I'm just going to take the whole thing up. So these are the door frames that have been done. So this is the first one. So we actually had a little bit of a situation with this door, and it was completely my fault from a design point of view. This is the first house I've ever designed, if you could call it that. Like, obviously I've done sort of the layout and all of these sort of details. So basically on my plan, I had this door opening like this way, so it would basically sort of go flat against this wall. However, I'd also told Louis to put the light switches there, which he's done. I did a whole lighting plan and everything, which he sort of followed, but that's where the light switches went. And it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago that I realised the mistake, basically. And obviously you don't want to be like walking into the room, opening the door, or even if the door is open, which it will be most of the time, we probably won't like shut this door very often, but it just means that the light switches are then behind the door, so you'd have to like move the door to get to the light switches, which is just not ideal at all. And it's really frustrating, because these light switches could have easily gone on this wall, but I just didn't think about it. So yeah, we had a little bit of a drama with this door, because then I didn't want it opening the other way. So obviously if it opens from this side like this, it was basically going to like overlap the utility door, and I was just having a meltdown, because that obviously is just not what you want. So we basically thought that we were going to have to go for a much like skinnier door, so that we could have it opening this way, and it would sort of sit flush, well not flush, but as far pushed back to the wall as possible. Hence why we've sort of packed out this bit here. So this is the door frame here, this is just extra bits of wood that we've used to pack this out as much as possible. So I think we can still fit a 30-inch door here, and it will just go all the way back, and it shouldn't hit like this door. This is basically the door frame that was the absolute nightmare. You can see where Louis filled all of the gaps. The joiner basically just said fill all of the gaps with expanding foam just to tighten it all up, but this wall is like so uneven that even the joiner said that it was just an absolute nightmare. So yeah, that's how that door frame is looking basically. And then the two, I can't remember whether I showed this in my last video, but the two that Louis did are these two here. So these were like sort of much easier to do, obviously, because it was just adding the door frames to the existing stud walls. Yeah, that's basically what we've waited weeks and weeks for, is literally these two door frames and the one upstairs actually. For the new bedroom upstairs, we've had a door frame put on there as well. But yeah, the only other update that I've got as well, I don't know whether you've noticed, is our side door. So this previously was just boarded. This was the last door that needed to go in. I'll show you from the outside. The outside is oak. We did go for an oak composite, so it's not real oak, because real oak comes with quite a lot of like maintenance, and obviously we want it to just be as long lasting as possible, but we went for like the oak effect. But then because I wasn't sure how real or fake the oak would look, I was reluctant to get oak inside, so I basically just decided to keep it quite simple and just go for white on the inside. So we went for one of these locks which we had in our old house and absolutely loved them. So obviously you don't need a key from the inside. And then this is the actual colour of the door. Oh, I'll show you from outside. So you can't really see very well, to be honest, because the light's a little bit funny. But yeah, that's basically our side door. But yeah, I am really happy with how that looks actually. I just think it gives quite a bit more character, and obviously the vibe that we're going for, like in the house, the interiors and everything, is sort of like modern traditional. The like standard colours to choose from for the door was like black, red, I think there was a green one, maybe it's a grey, but just basically I didn't like any of the colours, so I did definitely want to go for an oak one. So I'm glad that we did, but I am quite happy that we just went white on the inside, just obviously because you can't go wrong really. I'm never gonna like regret that decision. So yeah, I don't really think that there's anything else for me to update you on. We've had a big sort of tidy up. It's obviously still not really looking tidy, but I did actually like get the hoover out and everything. I hoovered all in here, so that's looking a lot better. We've like cleared this table over here because that was full of mugs and just like rubbish from when the builders were here, to be honest. So yeah, everywhere has had quite a good tidy and clean, ready for the plasterer to come in basically. We obviously need to just move a few bits so that the plasterer has got access to everywhere that he needs access, which is basically all of the walls and all of the ceilings. All the insulation is in. So yeah, anyway, I don't think there's any more updates for me to give you, so I'll stop rambling on because I feel like I always just ramble at the beginning of these videos. So all the plasterboard is here and inside. No thanks to Louis.
Hang on.
Me and my dad have just spent the past nearly 2 hours carrying all of these inside.
Right, what time is it?
It's like 5 o'clock, isn't it?
5 to 5. I've just carried the last 15.
15? You didn't do 15. Me and my dad did how many? 80?
There's 8 altogether. You didn't do 80 though. Your dad did.
So no, we couldn't lift them on his own. We both did them.
Yeah, but he done them all, you know.
Yeah, he did all of these as well. I couldn't lift them. Bless him. Yeah, so
only because they couldn't wait until I finished work.
Yeah, no, so this all got delivered at probably about 10:30 this morning, maybe. It was all here, but Louis made me sit at the house all day just in case anybody tried to steal any of it. I obviously couldn't carry any of it myself. My dad ended up finishing work a little bit early, so he came earlier to help. So me and him did the majority of it, and then Louis just finished work now and done the last few with my dad. So this is all of it. That'll be going on the walls tomorrow, hopefully. I just feel like something's gonna go wrong, but hopefully not. We've checked everything and it's all here as it should be. Louis is, what are you doing?
Doing like a cable plan, so when the plasterboard goes on, I know where
everything is. Yeah, because we
mainly
need
for the
to.
ceiling ones, to be fair.
Yeah, we need to know where, because obviously there's quite a lot of spotlights and things in, like, well, everywhere to be honest, but mainly in this area over here. So we need to know where all the cables are to obviously like cut the holes out once the plasterboard's on. So yeah, this will all be going on the walls tomorrow. Are you excited?
Yes.
Same.
Right.
Good morning everyone. I'm on a little bit of a weird angle this morning. I'm on my phone as well, so the quality might be a little bit rubbish, but I'm in the car, as you can tell. It's Thursday morning, so it's a plasterboard day. Louis has put a day's holiday in today, so he's been at the house since like first thing this morning. It's around about, I think it's about 10:30, so I'm just heading to the house now. We've got the building inspector coming round just to inspect everything, because she basically needs to check that all of the fireboard is going on around the beam, because you have to put like different plasterboards around the steel beam. So she should be there now, I think. Yeah, so I'll head to the house, see what's going on. I probably won't really film much, because I really don't like filming other people, and obviously they might not want to be filmed. So I'll see what the situation is, what's going on, and obviously if I don't really film anything like during the day, I'll update you later on and show you what's being done. It's currently about 8:30 at night, so it's literally pitch black. I haven't had chance to come to the house and see what's been done since about dinner time. I think I left here. So as you can see, I've got this little lamp here, which is the only source of light that I've got. So you're probably not really going to be able to see much, but he's done most of the ceilings and like the fireboard around the beam. So I just wanted to give you an update, because I know that I said I would and I didn't want to just leave it. So this is how it's looking. I'm on my phone as well, so the quality is probably even worse than it would have been if I'd had my camera. But yeah, all of this like pink stuff here is the fireboard, and then the ceiling is obviously just the normal plasterboard. So yeah, I don't really know how much you can see. It's probably not doing it justice at all. You can't really see, but yeah, this is the downstairs toilet, and this front room here as well does also have boards up. I'll obviously show you tomorrow as well, but it is looking a lot better already, even just with this. We've had a slight delay just with this bit here. So obviously, as you can see, we've got all of this insulation in here. So building regulations was 100 ml of thermal insulation board here, which obviously we did all ready for the plasterboard to just be attached to the beams and just go on. But the building regulations woman came today because she needed to be here while all of this fireboard went on, to make sure that we've got the right stuff. And she basically told us that we couldn't attach the plasterboard directly to the beams, that we basically needed more insulation over the top of all of the beams and then the plasterboard, because I don't really know why. I think because what she was saying was, if the plasterboard just attaches to the beams, there's going to be a little bit of a gap between the plasterboard and this insulation, literally like a tiny gap. And that is going to be like a, I don't know what she said, like an air bridge or something for all of the warm air to escape through, basically. But obviously that wasn't mentioned originally, so I don't actually know whether it's part of the regulations or whether it's just something that is like recommended. But we've bought more insulation anyways, which is just a nuisance, but needs must. So we managed to just get the cheapest insulation board that we could, and Louise basically going to have to spend Saturday attaching that insulation like to all of these beams, so it just covers all of the beams basically, and then the plasterboard will go over the top, if that makes any sense. But yeah, just a little bit annoying because obviously the plasterer wanted to get the boards on here, but yeah, we obviously want to follow the proper regulations if they are the regulations, but even if they're not, the more insulation we've got in here, the better in the long run. If it is light in the morning, I'll show you in the daylight before the plasterer gets here and cracks on. But yeah, this is the day one update and it's already looking so much better just from day one. So I can't wait to see how it progresses. It's so echoey. I feel like I literally need to whisper. I'm stood in the front room of the extension, and this was actually probably the room that I thought was the smallest compared to like the plans and stuff. In real life it just seemed quite small, and I thought it was going to seem smaller once the plasterboard was on, but it seems like such a big room. I can't believe how good it all looks. Right, so I'm just, by the way, it's the end of day 2, so it's now Friday, they've just left, and there's not really much for me to say. I'll just show you how much has been done today. So this, I'll go back here. So this is obviously when you walk in. So this is this bit here that I showed you the other night, but obviously it was in the dark, so you'll get a better idea now of like how it all actually looks. This here is the insulation that we bought to go on this ceiling here. So Louis will do that tomorrow. It's Saturday tomorrow, so he's off work, so he can do that. The plasterer's coming back tomorrow as well, and Sunday's just working right through basically. So yeah, this section here is all done. So this is what they've done today. So this is like the front bit of the extension. I just feel like it looks so good, and obviously all of this, well, everywhere that these plasterboards are going on, all of this room will all be plastered. Obviously we're not doing like the tapes or anything like that, he's just plastering all of it. But yeah, this room actually looks still like really big. It's a really good size. So yeah, all the ceilings are done, all of the walls are done in here, and it looks so different already. I almost feel like I can't like recognise what it looked like before. This is the downstairs toilet, so they've done the outside plasterboards, but we are just gonna put a little bit of insulation in here. But that's something else that Louis will probably be able to do either tonight or tomorrow. Obviously the walls are only skinny, so we won't need much, but just a little bit of like acoustic insulation in here just to soundproof everywhere. Same with the utility over here. They obviously haven't like gone over to this side yet, but they'll do the same thing with that, just board one side, and we'll put a little bit of insulation in this room because this is going to have a sink and like the washing machine and stuff, so we want as much like soundproofing in here as possible. But yeah, it's all coming together and it just looks and feels so much more like a house. It just feels so different, like just this view and everything of like this little walkway. This is just so exciting here as well, where we've like got the new window and like all of the plasterboard around it now, so it all just looks like fresh and new. This to me is like when it all starts actually coming together. And obviously when the build was happening, that was like really exciting. That was the actual like structure of the house and everything. And I can remember when they knocked all of the walls down and we could see like all of this open room. That was a really exciting day because I'd waited to see that for like so long. But I feel like this is when it really starts coming together. I just feel like we've waited so long for this. I have anyways, and I know Louis has as well, but oh, it just looks so good. I can't believe it. This all obviously along here will be our kitchen, where this beam sort of like comes up here. This is where we're going to build a mantle, so that column there will just sort of like blend into the whole kitchen, and we'll do like a mantle which will be over the hob, and obviously it'll house a extractor fan that'll all be like built in and hidden away and stuff, so that won't just be like an odd column in the middle of the room. We're sort of making a little bit of a feature out of that. This will all be completely done, plastered and everything, hopefully by Wednesday, Thursday next week. But yeah, I'll pick you up tomorrow anyways and show you how far we've got. So, what day is it now? Day...
Sunday.
No, how many days in are we though? 3, 4, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's the end of day 4. It's a little bit dark, so you can't really see, but everywhere, almost everywhere, is boarded, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, is he just plastering that wall there? He's not putting boards on that one.
No, just like
That, yeah, that can just be skimmed. And then I think there's still some boards, you can't really see. There's still some boards to go on the inside of the utility. There you go. Yeah, so this wall has been done, and then there's still these boards in the living room to go on this side.
And patch all that up.
Oh, is he going to do that? Oh yeah, I suppose that's all on that wall.
I must have forgot.
Yeah, so these walls here already had like, I don't know, plaster. Yeah, so these were basically just existing walls, so he's obviously not putting like plasterboards onto them. He's just plastering those walls. But it's really bad like lighting, but it's going to be now every night because the clocks have just changed, so it's going to be dark every night now until we've got lights, which will be when? What do you mean, you don't know? We need lights, like as soon as possible.
I need to know what he's doing with that pipe in there first.
This is basically all boarded, so is he starting plastering tomorrow?
I think so, well, yeah. That's what I'm bits to do.
Yeah, there's a little gap there.
The beam, and then...
Yeah, so this is the end of day 4. I didn't show you yesterday because I didn't come back round. I don't think it was dark, like by the time he left. Oh, somebody at the door. Morning everyone. So I'm at the house this morning in my big coat because it is cold now. But yeah, it's about 7:30 and I'm at the house already this morning, just waiting to actually like let the plasterer in. He usually comes at about 8 o'clock, but I thought I'd give you an update now because by the time the plaster was finished and like I've finished work and stuff on a night, it's pitch black now, so I'm struggling to show you like at the end of every day because yeah, it's just way too dark. So the only time that I can really show you is on a morning. So I think the last time I picked you up was Sunday. Was it? Yeah, I think it was like sort of Sunday night, and it's now Tuesday morning, so there's only been like Monday's day of work, if that makes sense. So he has started actually plastering now. So obviously he got everywhere boarded first, and then I think he spent quite a lot of time yesterday just prepping and stuff. He's got a friend with him as well helping him plaster, so he had like a labourer helping him like with all of the boards, and now he's actually got like his friend who is a plasterer helping him with the actual plastering, because I think Louis said that he'd said that he'd sort of do a room at a time. So the front room of the extension is completely done, plastered and everything. I'll show you that, but it's quite difficult to see. We've sort of got the window covered because we don't have any blinds or anything up in there. And Louis moved basically everything out of this room into that room because it's now plastered. That room's like completely done, so obviously he needs like space, so we basically had to move all of our stuff into there. So it's just a bit of a messy room at the moment. It's still quite dark, so you can't really see much, but I'll show you anyways. And then I'm guessing he did most of the prep yesterday, so they'll probably just like hopefully fly through quite a lot of the plastering today, but I'll probably have to do the same thing and pick you up tomorrow morning to like show you how far they've got. So yeah, so this is like the front room of the extension. So obviously we've got sheets up there, and then basically just all of our things. So like these are all of our radiators and things like that. But you can see it sort of starting to dry out already, which is really good. Oh, it's not going to focus. I don't know whether my camera's going to focus very well. But yeah, basically this is one fully plastered room now. So yeah, obviously this is the downstairs toilet, and then all of this room, which is obviously going to be a massive job. I don't know whether they'll get that done today, but yeah, it's going well anyways. And I'll try and pick you up every morning and show you like what was done the day before. But if I can't do that, then there might be like a day's gap here and there. But either way, it'll be finished this week, so it won't be long and we'll have a fully plastered house. Good morning everybody. It has been a few days since I last did an update, so it is looking very different. You can probably see behind me. It's not completely finished yet. He's coming back this morning, and I think he probably will be here for like the whole day, because there is still quite a bit that needs doing, but the main bulk of it is done. Let me put my car keys down. So yeah, I'll give you an update on how it's looking now. So as you walk into the back room, obviously the lighting is really off again, so it's looking very, very dark. But basically all of this is now plastered. These walls here behind me are done. Obviously that room through there was the first one that was done, so I've already showed you that. I think the downstairs toilet, that's completely pitch black, you can't really see anything, but that's done. All the ceilings are done. And over there, sorry, my camera's having a hard time focusing on all of this, but the ceiling here is also done. It just looks so neat, even like around the door. All around here is all done. So as you can see, that bit there still needs doing, and the ceiling there also needs doing, and the utility, the whole room, walls and ceiling still needs doing, and the other side of this wall as well. And go upstairs and see how the bathroom's looking, because I don't know whether you remember the state of the bathroom window. He's sorting that out for us. Oh yeah, so he's sort of bordered around the window, so I think all he'll be doing now is just plastering probably all of this wall, to be honest. But yeah, this window was like a massive mess, so that's looking better straight away. Fingers crossed it should all be completely finished by the end of today. Hello again everyone, apologies for the echo, but we have a fully plastered extension. It's finally all finished. It's now Friday, so he did actually finish yesterday, but I didn't come to the house to see it. I finished work early on a Friday, so I'm here, it's daylight, and you can actually properly see everything. So it's actually like drying out quite nicely, obviously because it was finished yesterday, but we are going to leave it another week to dry before we put any like paint on it or anything, basically. So I'll flip you around and show you how it all looks. I don't know whether my camera's gonna struggle to focus again, because it usually does when I'm just showing walls, but this is obviously like the hallway. So this is the whole back room of the extension. It looks all a little bit weird now because it's just like a bit of a brown sort of room, but the ceilings are drying out nicely. They've been done for a couple of days now. This is the utility, so all these bits sticking out here is basically where the boiler's going to be. So that's going to be housed in like a floor to ceiling unit. So we'll have a floor to ceiling unit on this side, and oh God, I'm touching the plaster. And on this side, and then like a sink in the middle and stuff eventually. I mean, the utility won't be done for a very long time, but yeah, that's where the boiler is going. That's the utility, and then obviously in here, this should be, yeah, this is like a lot drier than everywhere else because this is the first room that he did. But this is still just sort of our storage room. And then the downstairs toilet, it's still very dark in here, but you can get a bit of an idea. It's obviously just an empty room at the moment. It'll be even better once the walls and everything are painted. So yeah, like I was saying, we're going to leave it a full week at least. It'll actually be just over a week before we put anything on the walls. Obviously we want them to be fully dry before we put anything on them, but my brother-in-law has a sort of like spray pump thing that you can get from work, so we're literally just going to spray it all and hopefully get it all done just fairly quickly. It'll obviously be quick compared to me just going around and painting all of it, because Louis is not much of a painter, so the painting usually falls on me, but obviously this is a massive space for me to paint completely on my own. So yeah, that's the plan anyways. We're thinking, Louis had mentioned about possibly putting our light switches and everything in place before we like spray everywhere, just so that none of the actual cables are like affected if we were to get like paint on them accidentally or something. Obviously if we sort of break any of the cables, the whole cable will need replacing. Obviously now everywhere's been plastered, so yeah, we might do that. We might put like plug sockets and light switches and things on and then just cover them all over before it's like sprayed. But yeah, that's the plan. Oh, hello! Hello, Nelson! Oh, look, it's your house. What'd you think?
Excited.
What'd you think? You back at home? You back at home? This is the bathroom as well, so he sorted out all around the window. It's so satisfying to see how like smooth it all looks. Yeah, this is the bathroom window all sorted out. So yes, anyways, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this transformation because it is a big one. Hopefully we should be getting ready to move back in over the next 3 or 4 weeks maybe. We've obviously still got lots of things that need doing before we can actually live here, but now that like the plaster's on, we are hoping to get the paint on the walls next week. And then I think our plumber is nipping round on Monday, so in a couple of days time, to just like have a look at everything. Hopefully then he'll be able to do the second fix once the walls are painted. He can then put the boiler in and put all of the radiators on, and that'll make a big difference because obviously then from that point we'll have hot water. And then obviously, like I mentioned, Louis is just gonna probably work his way around doing some of like the light switches, the plug sockets, things like that. And I think he's got something else that he needs to do with the board under the stairs, and then all of the new like electrics can be connected up, I think, and then we should have lights. And then the biggest job that we're hoping to get done sort of before we move back in is all of the flooring. So we need to get in touch with our builder because he's going to come back and level all of the floor for us in like the extension at the back, and then the flooring can go down. But we're going to wait until the paint is on the walls before we get the builder back, if that makes sense. So yeah, basically nothing will probably majorly happen in the next week. The next big thing will be the paint going on the walls, hopefully, all being well. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching and I'll see you all soon.